In this Map Suite MVC Edition sample app walkthrough, we're going to show you how you can control and change the point label placement on some points of interest on the map. So as you can see here, we've got a basic map with some of the U.S. cities with some labels being displayed. And I come over here on the left in this list box, and as I click on the different locations, you'll see that the labels now shift to a different placement. So if I want to center them on the point, I could choose center. If I want to say lower right, I can choose that, and all the labels will shift there, and then upper left. So this can be quite handy if you're wanting to position your labels a certain way. And also the map control has a best placement option too that this sample doesn't show, but keep that in mind if you just want the map control to figure out exactly where to put the labels. So let's take a look at the code to see how you would implement something like this. To get started, let's look at the view source code. And here we've got a little JavaScript that we'll take a look at later. And here's where we've got our list box that has all the different placements. And then down here is where we're setting up the code when the application is loaded for the map. So we're just doing a basic part here where we're adding the map to the page, setting the map unit, the extent, etc. Down here we're doing a static overlay that contains our country 02 boundaries from a shapefile and our cities from a shapefile. And in this case, we're just using an existing or a built-in point styles called City3 to render those points. And our country, we're just creating our own simple area style for the, that background color that you see for the fill of the countries. We're applying all that to show between zoom level 1 and 20 and adding that to the overlays accordingly. And then down here is where we're doing our labeling. By default, we're adding our labels to another overlay, the dynamic overlay, and we're reloading the city shapefile. We're going to use create our own simple text style in this case, saying we want to use the area name column in the shapefile to build our label from, and we want to use the font veranda, the size 8, a regular, not bold or anything like that, and then the colors we want to use, in this case black. So that's how you create just a very simple text style. So you have full control over how your labels look. If you want to do red, Arial, any fonts, and different column names you can pull from to build those labels. We're going to go ahead and apply that style for all the 20 zoom levels. And then here's an important property, if you haven't seen it already, that sets the drawing percentage to 80%. So what that means is we're going to go ahead and label out past the map edge 80%. So if your user's right on an edge, they can still pan right, and there won't be any cutoff labels. So that's a useful property in some circumstances. And finally, we're going to add that label layer to the dynamic overlay and then render the map out. So that gets you your basic application when the map loads. Now let's take a look at how we want to change the placement of those labels. And so here's our list box with all the different options of that placement. And when the user clicks that and changes that, it's going to call some JavaScript here called change point placement, which goes up here. And we get the value that they selected from the list box. Then we're going to do an AJAX callback to the server using the AJAX call action on the map control, and tell it what controller we wanted to use, and then we're going to look at the set point placement function and pass in the placement that was selected in the list. And then once we're done, we're going to do a callback and just refresh the dynamic overlay so the labels are then updated to represent the new positioning that the user selected. So let's go look at the set point placement on the server side so you can see how to modify that placement. And here's that code, and the first thing we do is we just get the parameter that was passed in, and we've got a switch statement here. And with that switch statement, we're just figuring out what the placement is based upon what the user selected. So we've got an enumeration of all the different placements that you can place a label for a point. And then we're just getting a reference to our label layer for those cities. And then we're just changing the point placement property on our default text style on that label. So that's really all there is to it, is just changing this one property to adjust that placement. And then of course we're going to redraw that overlay so that new placement takes effect, and then it returns back to the client accordingly. So that gives you the effect of being able to change those placements and move them anywhere you want around those points. So I hope this sample app walkthrough has been helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us, or you can post them directly on our discussion forum at thinkgeo.com/forums. Thank you for watching.